So my answer, I want to say something that is perhaps radical, but I want, and maybe it is, but I want to try to make the case that it's important to wrestle with it. And that is that the United States is no longer classified as a democracy. But it's important to appreciate that democracy is not a binary, it's not a dichotomy. It's not necessarily, yes, democracy, no, it's not just democracy and dictatorships in the world, right? So it's a spectrum, right? And so the step down from democratic governance is often referred to as a system called competitive authoritarianism. And so I think it's really important for us to understand what that is and to accept that that is the state that we live in now.
The Chicago Council for Global Affairs has been polling the American public about how they want, what they think America's role in the world should be for more than 50 years. Right. The most recent poll was one of the lowest ever of whether Americans think it's important for us to be engaged in the world. It had always been across party lines in the high 60% of Americans strongly believed that the US had a role to play, and they particularly liked when we go out and help other people, like humanitarian aid. They really liked, crisis response and helping people in the developing world. Controversy, maybe less support for military interventions. But so what I'm saying is there's a systemic shift in what the American people want, and I think that's one of the reasons. The numbers for the most recent were like 56%, one of the lowest ever. So you still have at least a portion of independents and Republicans who would agree. They're not all liberal internationalists. It's not like they're running to get involved in every problem around the world, but that level of sort of organic support for the United States as a global actor has shrunk.
When I was CIA NSA director at 9/11, I had more than 100 people at Fort Meade that were Five Eyes people, okay? And actually, two of them wouldn't go home. They stayed because, well, they're our friends.
One of the important lessons to take away from this is the way the U.S. acts towards one ally and one set of countries is viewed by the rest of the world. And so the Chinese, were looking at how the Biden administration responded to Russia's invasion of Ukraine and looked at how well Ukraine did in relation to their, desires to reclaim Taiwan. They're going to be recalculating the same thing, looking at how the current administration is treating Ukraine and our other allies.